PAOK to France. It's a night that could be down to whether PAOK get their offense firing and call a halt to a relentless Dijon offense themselves. Dijon, the home team, have picked up double-digit wins over Brindisi, Neptunus and Zombate in the opening 3 game days. They really are flying high. Whilst PAOK, well, they've lost to Neptunus, lost to Zombate, and also to Besiktas in their opening 3 games of this Basketball Champions League campaign. For PAOK, it's time to change their fortunes as they start to think about maybe they need to fight for survival in this season's Basketball Champions League. For Dijon, it's same again, please, as they have been in dominant form in European competition this season. So we're now on game day 4 and things are starting to heat up nicely here in the Basketball Champions League. In Group D earlier this evening, Falco Zombate beat Bonn 91-59. And then the other 2 Group D games will happen tomorrow when Neptunus take on Zaragoza and Brindisi take on Besiktas. And as I say, some teams have made statements and some teams are already thinking about their survival. Dijon sit top of the table with a 3-0 record. PAOK bottom of the table with an 0-3 record. Polar opposites, but this one's still shaping to be a competitive, close game. That's for sure. For the visitors, it has been a bit of a nightmare start for them. They ranked 10th in the history of the Basketball Champions League, so you know they weren't expecting to start the season like this, and they're going to need to start picking up wins soon if they're to make it all the way through to the playoff stages. Whereas for the home team, for Dijon, they're only in their 2nd Basketball Champions League season. Dijon are making waves. My goodness me, they'd love to make it through to the round of 16 for the first time. Plenty of talent for both teams, though. For PAOK last week, you have to look at Antoine Wiggins. Had a huge night, 17-point, 10-rebound double-double, but it was in a loss. That was to Neptunus. Adam Smith looked good to go in that game as well. Had a strong first half, but struggled in the second half. He's going to be important, though, to PAOK. He's averaging 13.3 points, 3.3 assists per game. And for PAOK, they're currently, sadly for them, in their longest ever Basketball Champions League losing streak. It's 4 games in a row now that they've lost, and it's all on the back of this poor offense that they've got. The worst offense in the group. They're averaging just 66 points per game. Their defense isn't too shabby. They've kept all 3 of their opponents under 80 points so far this season. So for PAOK, it really is going to be a matter of, can they spark their offense? Can they get the scoreboard ticking over for them early on and throughout the 40 minutes? If they can, they're in with a chance of the upset here this evening. If they can't, it could be an unforgivable and an unforgettable 0-4 start to their season here in the Basketball Champions League. Just waiting now for the home team to be introduced to the crowd here in the arena. And Dijon are on a 3-game winning streak in the Basketball Champions League. That's the same number of wins that they had in the 13 previous games to that. If they win this evening, they will tie with Monaco as the only French team to win 4 Basketball Champions League games in a row. However, you do have to give the hat tip to Monaco. They've done it twice. They did it in the 16-17 season and the 17-18 season. But some talent in this Dijon team. And this man coming out now, Michael Young. He had a big week last week against Brindisi. 15 points, 5 rebounds for him in that one. Plenty of talent in this Dijon roster, though. And David Holston now being introduced to the crowd. He may be undersized, but he is a huge part of the backcourt for Dijon. He scored 17 points, more importantly, dished out 9 assists last week. But it's tough to pick out individuals within this Dijon side. They had 5 players in double digits last week, and they can hurt you from across the floor. Very impressive offense Dijon has. They're averaging just over 90 points per game. Really have been entertaining in the first 3 game days of the Basketball Champions League. As we see the coaches shaking hands, the players will go to the middle as well, shake hands and exchange gifts. Here are our officials for this evening. We have Marius Cullins of Romania, Fernando Cayetrava of Spain, and Gavidas from Lithuania. They'll be patrolling the hardwood, making sure everything is right and above board in what is set to be quite a battle here in Dijon in game day 4 between the unbeaten Dijon and the winless PAOK. As I said, PAOK are highly respected in European basketball. It's a big surprise that they sit bottom of the group. It's even more of a surprise that they don't have a win to their name yet. Oh, how they'd love to change that up today, but what a big ask it is against a team of the quality of Dijon. Just 3 minutes now until the opening tip here in Dijon. An opportunity for Dijon to secure even further their place at the top of the group. As we see our officials again. If they win this evening, they'll move to 4-0. What a start that would be. And PAOK could be rooted to the basement on 0-4. That really is a long way to come back. That man there, Antoine Wiggins, had a big game last week. He's going to have an even bigger game this week if they're going to come away with the win. There's your starting 5 for PAOK. Lewis, Smith, Margaritas, Wiggins and Salakopoulos. Plenty of talent in that starting 5. And for them, you just hope that they get the offense flowing early. You imagine it will be through the likes of Smith and Wiggins. But anyone on that starting 5 can produce some strong offense. Pressure will be on Kostas Flevarakas there. First season with PAOK. And he's hoping the fortunes change in the Basketball Champions League. Here's Dijon's starting 5. As we see Solomon, Suleiman, Holston, Ulmer and Loom in their starting 5. And coach Bernamun in his 5th season with Dijon. A storied playing career, played 15 years for Toulon. Started off coaching in Pro B in France. He was coach of the year there. And now he is leading Dijon unbeaten at the start of this Basketball Champions League season. A credit to him and his coaching assistants and everyone involved. We're going to try and listen to the huddle.
Rebound, guys. Okay, pick and roll, same thing. Edge.
Et mesdames, messieurs, le coup d'envoi est donné ce soir aux côtés de la responsable communication et marketing de la JDA Dijon. Lucie, par monsieur Emmanuel Bordeaux, directeur général opérationnel JDJ Automobile, aux côtés de Xavier Lebrun et Pascal Falzan, directeur de magasin boulanger de Guétigny et Toison d'Or.
Pretty calm huddles as you'd expect as we wait for the tip-off here between Dijon and PAOK in game day 4 of Group D of the Basketball Champions League. Before we get things underway though, let me remind you the best way to stay up to date with the Basketball Champions League is through the official Basketball Champions League app. It's available on iOS and Android, so get your phone out now, free to download. You'll get all the latest news, views, you'll get stats, more stats than you know what to do with, and you'll get, probably most importantly, a ton of videos and highlights from what has been already an exceptionally exciting Basketball Champions League season. So get your phone out, download the official Basketball Champions League app now, and stay on top of everything to do with European basketball. Here we go as we get the action underway here in Dijon in game day 4 of Group D of the Basketball Champions League. JDA Dijon versus PAOK. And straight away, PAOK turned the ball over in their first possession. Dijon enter the game unbeaten. 3 wins, no losses. PAOK without the win. 0-3 for PAOK to start the Basketball Champions League season. How they want to change that this evening. Halston now steps back for 3. Oh, and he starts things up beautifully. Does David Halston. Quan Lewis now hands it over to Smith. Back to Lewis. Big screen by Sarakopoulos. He's got the mismatch he wants, but it's into the corner to Wiggins. Back out to Lewis now. Skipped into Margaritis to Wiggins. Shot clock at 2 though. Can they get it away? No, they can't. And 2 possessions for PAOK has led to 2 turnovers. That's not the start they'll have wanted. Just to make you aware, your on-screen graphic is incorrect at the moment. Dijon lead by 3. If we continue to have problems with it, I'll try and keep you up to date with the score as the game progresses. And Suleiman, it's a long 2. Extends Dijon's lead to 5. Margaritis now throws it away. Turnover 3 of the game already for PAOK. 3 possessions and 3 turnovers. Halston drives the baseline. A reverse layup's no good, and Wiggins scoops in the defensive rebound. Hands it off to Lewis. Margaritis back to Lewis, into Sarakopoulos. They're looking to use their size advantage. Back out to Margaritis. He floats inside. Right hand gets the roll, and PAOK are underway. That takes the score to 5-2 in favour of Dijon. Solomon now. Sorry, Suleiman. Oh, has it knocked away, but gets it back and gets the score. And at the moment, Dijon are getting any opportunity, any look at the basket they want, as PAOK's defense is unable to stop them. Sarakopoulos to Smith. Smith now has got his mismatch against Solomon. Can't get it to go though, and the rebound is into the hands of Abdoulaye Loum. Now with Halston. Halston steps out, back to Loum. Almost knocked away from Ulmer, but he'll pick it back up. Shot clock down to 8 though. He's going to have to do something with it. He'll pull up for the 3. The iron is not his friend and just spits it high in the air. Lewis now being guarded by Halston. Smith into Margaritis to Wiggins for the Thunder. Wonderful baseline cut and a fluid offense there by PAOK. They'll need plenty more of those this evening, but it's a bright start. Well, a bright moment in what has been quite a tough start to the game for PAOK. Halston now comes back out for Loum. Loum's not on track with that one, and it's knocked out of bounds by Ulmer. And PAOK's defense is starting to pick up a few gears, which is good news for the Greek fans listening in and watching in on this one. Margaritis fakes the 3, passes it off to Wiggins, back into the low post. He's looking to go to work, but the double team comes across. I think Alma's going to get called for the foul. Alma had a good game last week, 10.6 rebounds against Brindisi in that win. His first season with Dijon, his first season in the Basketball Champions League as well. Lewis to Wiggins, to Sarakopoulos. Sarakopoulos looking to find something inside, but almost throws it away. Wiggins now to Sarakopoulos. Oh, and he's rejected! Oh, but he gets the putback. Great defense initially by Richard Solomon. What looked like it was going to be an easy flush for Sarakopoulos. He had to go back up a second time with it. Let's have a look at a replay of this block. Oh, real authority behind that block from Solomon, but no help. And Sarakopoulos converts the 2 anyway. Holston to Alma. Alma steps out of bounds, so it'll be a PAOK ball on the sideline, and Holston is already causing issues for PAOK. He's undersized, which people often see as a negative. He certainly knows how to turn it as a positive. A veteran point guard has stolen it away this time. Gets it inside, and Suleiman is the recipient of the wonderful work by Holston. And if you're a big playing on a team with a player like David Holston is a joy, to say the least. Let's have a look at what's happened. Foul's going to be called on Holston. Puts a thumbs up to the officials. It's a good call. As, Lewis takes it over the half for PAOK to Smith. And the PAOK offense is relatively fluid at the moment. It's moving well. Inside to Smith. Wiggins in the corner for the 3. Off track though, and Alma brings down the rebound. Solomon sets the screen for Suleiman. Solomon going to go to work against Margaritis. Oh, lovely crossover inside, and he puts down the poster, knocking Sarakopoulos to the floor. Oh, that's a power move to the basket. Just too much for PAOK to handle. Look at Sarakopoulos here. He ends up with his backside on the hardwood. Wiggins back out to Smith. Back to Wiggins. A little bit static now. Smith takes the jumper. Nothing there. Sarakopoulos 1 against 3, but he still comes away with a rebound. That's good work by the big man. He goes on the pick and roll. Oh, nice no-look pass by Sarakopoulos to Wiggins. And PAOK's offense is starting to warm up now. 3-point lead for Dijon. Alma, hesitation inside, has it knocked away, saves it though to Loom. Comes back out, the shot's too heavy, and the loose ball is going to end up in the possession of PAOK. And Loom will make his way to the bench. Just 1 rebound to his name in the first 6.5 minutes. PAOK inbound the ball. 3.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Dijon lead by 3. Relatively low scoring first quarter though. Smith has got the mismatch he wants now. Almost throws it out of bounds. Smith has got it. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Puts up a tough shot. Wow. Big play by Adam Smith. Completely contested. Still gets it to go. Jolian with a beautiful circus pass. Solomon can't connect with the 2 though, and Sarakopoulos is going to get called for the foul. Solomon will go to the line for 2. Look at that pass though. Reminds me of Jason Williams, white chocolate. This is the first, 63% from the free-throw line prior to this evening's game. Richard Solomon. This game of the season was game day 1 against Zombate. 17 points, 9 rebounds in that win. This is the second as well. And PAOK are within 1. Opportunity here for PAOK. Take their first lead of the game if they score. Smith now, hesitation, corner, Wiggins fakes the 3. Shot clock down to 5 now. Lewis drives inside, high off the glass is no good, but the foul is going to be called. Lewis drew contact. I think that one was from Leloup. Jeremy Leloup. As it's just that quick first step. Gets Lewis to the line, and Leloup kind of caught trying to come across and help on the defensive end, but Lewis will go to the line. 2 shots, 50% from the free throw line so far this season. Had a big game on the opening game of the Basketball Champions League. Scored 19 against Besiktas, but again, PAOK lost that game, yet to win one. Baseline ball as Lewis goes to the bench and Soklas comes in. Suleiman now for Dijon. Julian inside, and an easy 2-hand flush for Richard Solomon. Doesn't get much easier for a big man than that. One-point lead for Dijon again. Wiggins tries to scoop his way in, can't get it to go, but that's great work on the offensive boards again by Zizissarakopoulos. Axel Cholian. Good ball movement here by Dijon. Very good movement off the ball as well. Cholian now inside, and the lane just opened up to him. Sarakopoulos was caught between a rock and a hard place. Does he help? Give up the big, or does he stay put and give the easy shot for Cholian? Smith now inside, kicks it back out. Going to be the 4th team foul of the quarter on Dijon. Suleiman is going to get called for that one. A couple of changes. Chasson comes into the game, and Holston comes back in as well. Smith now. Oh, great defense there by Cholian, forcing Smith out of bounds. Cholian now. Wonderful pass! And rewards the trailing Alexandre Chasson with the pass. Wonderful vision by Axel Cholian, and a timeout has been called. Dijon's lead is out to 3 now. 17 JDA Dijon, 14 to PAOK. 57.4 seconds left in this first quarter. Timeout's been called. We're going to try and head into the huddles to listen in.
Je vous le disais, dans le top 5 français. Démonstration Chauvet tout au long de cette soirée.
Final minute of this first quarter here in Dijon, and and they lead by 3. Very low scoring first quarter, and that's your one of 2 options for PAOK. If you're struggling to score the ball, you either solve that and start scoring, or you drag the other team into your game. Make it a low scoring, grind out kind of battle, and so far PAOK have pretty much done that to Dijon. Smith now. Shockless. Way off target with that one, and the loose ball eventually falls into the hands of Julien. Julien now inside, another good pass, but a big rejection by Antoine Wiggins. Screen is set by Knowles. Quick ball movement here, back to Shockless. Drives inside and he's fouled. Michael Young going to get called for that one. That's going to send Apollon Shockless to the line for 2 shots. And you can see Young just grab at him. Needs to be careful. He doesn't get called for an unsportsmanlike in that situation. Aaron Best is going to come into the game now as Zane Knowles heads to the bench. 6.3 seconds left in this first quarter as Shockless heads to the line. Shooting just 50% from the free throw line before tonight's game in the Basketball Champions League. His 4th season in the Basketball Champions League. Apollon Shockless. Julien now hands it off to Holston. What a way to finish the first quarter. Wonderful backcourt 1-2 punch. Axel Julien to David Holston. End of the first quarter. JDA Dijon 19, PAOK 16. 10 minutes down in this Group D Basketball Champions League game. Here are your shooting stats from that first quarter. No real joy from outside from either team. Dijon with 1, but dominant inside, 8 from 10. From inside the 3-point line. Interesting that Dijon have only got to the line once. Didn't connect with either of their shots. I'm sure that will be a conversation that Coach Laurent Lermagnon will be having with his team. Here are some of the highlights from that first quarter, and that's exactly how David Holston opened the game, with a little step back 3, losing Lewis with the quick footwork. And Dijon won't be happy with that first quarter. Remember, they're top of the table, PAOK are bottom of the table. They'll have wanted to come in and dominate this first quarter. They looked like they were going to start things off, but PAOK pulled their way, battled their way, fought their way back into this one. And they trail only by 3 at the end of 10 minutes. Now remember, PAOK have struggled offensively, whilst Dijon are averaging almost 91 points a game in the first 3 games of this Basketball Champions League. So if you were to say who is this favouring at the moment, you'd probably say PAOK. It's a slightly low scoring game. As we get the second quarter underway here in Dijon, they lead by 3 at the end of 10. 30 minutes to play in this Group D Basketball Champions League battle. Good defense by PAOK to start the second quarter. Shockless to Smith, fakes the 3, slows it down. Shockless now back to Smith, into the corner. Negakeza, no good. Gets it back inside though. Wonderful play and wonderful heads-up look from Zane Knowles as well. Holston now floats inside, causes a disruption, hands it off to Young. It's recycled back to the top, and it's knocked away. Good hands by Shockless against Holston. And Smith comes away with it. He steps out of bounds though, does Aaron Best. So it's going to be a turnover and Dijon's ball. As the crowd start to get into things here. Smart move along the baseline by Michael Young. Shakes his way to the basket, draws the foul. That's the strength and the focus to connect with the two. He'll earn his trip to the line for the bonus point. The Pittsburgh native has worked hard along that baseline, drawing the foul and then finishing the play. Shotless now. Trying to shake Holston. It's not an easy job though, as he hands it off to Aaron Best. Goes inside to Smith, fading away out of bounds. Gets the shot away, but it's a tough shot. Wonderful pass. Oh, another 1-2 punch from the undersized backcourt. And Julien, this time, is the recipient from Holston. And that free-flowing basketball has provided us with so many highlights already this season. Best now loses control, regains it to Smith. Leloup with good defense. Wonderful, wonderful defense from Jérémy Leloup. And there's the quick offense from Dijon. A 1-2 punch from Julien and David Holston. Leloup now hands it back to Holston. Young sets the screen, steps back for the long two, and it's way off target. A little bit overconfident as the Dijon lead is up to 6. Just over 7 minutes to play in the second quarter. Best now to Smith. Long three from Smith is off target, and Smith is struggling here this evening. Knowles is going to pick up the foul. Oh, and he went for the jam. Just missed it. That would have been a big play. As we see Smith go to the bench, he's only 1 from 5 from the field. Tough start for him as Stavros Chizas comes back into the game. Holston will go to the bench as Ulmer comes back in. Young connects with the first from the line. 75% from the free-throw line across the first 3 games of the Basketball Champions League this season. Connects with the second as well. Lewis now. Point guard responsibilities. Chizas. It back Best. Pick and roll with Knowles. Knowles inside now, loses the handle. Good defense by Dijon. That's going to get tied up and will fall to the possession arrow indicator. That says it's possession to Dijon. Great, almost blitz defense they played there on Knowles, led primarily by Jérémy Leloup. 8-point lead now for Dijon. Under 7 minutes left in this second quarter, and they're really starting to stamp their authority on this one. Still relatively low scoring though. Ulmer looking for Julien. Julien turns the corner, zips it back to Chasson. And he loses it though, and Lewis wants to try and feed Knowles in the post. The double comes across again. Comes back out this time to Chizas. He's off target with the 3, and this might be one of PAOK's problems. If they can't get things working from the perimeter, their offense is going to struggle, as Aaron Best gets called for the foul in transition. Third team foul of the quarter for PAOK already. Still over 6 minutes left to play. So it'll be a sideline ball now for Dijon. Lelou to inbound. Alma. Comes back to Julien. Julien drives down the middle of the lane. It's stripped away with the quick hands of Jaquan Lewis. Inside to Knowles. He goes to work. First time he's not been double teamed. The first time he goes to the baby hook for 2. His first points of the game. Zane Knowles. Julien into the lane. Can't connect, but draws the foul. That one's going to be chalked up to Stavros Shizat. Julien will go to the line for free throws. Yet to miss a free throw so far in the opening 3 game days of the Basketball Champions League. 5th season with Dijon. 2nd season in the Basketball Champions League. Averaged over 8 points per game. 5.5 assists last season. Part of what they did went through the hands of Axel Julien's hands. And the second is good to go. 7-point lead now for Dijon. Lewis uses the screen set by Margaritas. It's back into the hands of Best now. Margaritas, nice quick turn. Hands it off to Knowles, who floats through the lane. Puts that one down. Wonderful play by Margaritas. It was that quick spin move that broke the Dijon defense. And Zane Knowles had the easy task of finishing it. Timeout's been called by Dijon. Let's jump into Coach Lemagnon's timeout.
More, first one. One. I don't want here. Pass here. 1 time for 3 points. 1 time for here. Yeah. This guy. Alright, this guy. It's for that. Because you're like that, man. You watch until here. Switch your orientation for what you guys will get. He's already right there. Hey, next play.
5-16 à jouer. Pas assez d'écart pour entre les 2 équipes. 22. PAOK Thessalonique 27.
Apologies for the intermittent sound in that timeout, but I think we got the gist of it. He was dealing with some of the details on the defensive end for Dijon. Inbound the ball now to Axel Julien. Alma, bad pass, and Lewis picks it off. Oh, he's fouled hard. Oh, he fell difficult on his knee there. That looked like a potentially bad landing for Jaquan Lewis. Let's have a look again. I'm not sure whether the officials are going to review this one, whether there was excessive play from Julien. No, they're going to give it a regular foul, and then they're going to review. They are going to have a look at it, so they've had to make a call on the floor. They've called it as just a regular foul. It's whether they can see anything that suggests differently on the replay. So they'll be wanting to see if there's excessive contact, whether he went for the ball, whether it was dangerous play. No, it's difficult. He's not really looking at the ball when he's gone for it. He's already looking at his landing rather than focusing on the ball.
Challenge vidéo.
my point of view, I don't think you could complain if the referee gave that either way. It's either a tough play for the block, or it's a an unsportsmanlike foul. Let's have a look and see what's called. Looks like they're going to... Yeah, it's been called as an unsportsmanlike foul against Axel Julien. That's going to send Lewis to the line for 2 shots. Misses the first. Not a great free throw shooter, Jaquan Lewis. Connects with the second though, and it'll be a sideline ball for PAOK. As they've reduced the Dijon lead to just 4 now. Long shot from Best is no good, and Ulmer with a great seal out on the box out. And lets the ball, the rebound just fall into his hands. Julien now. That one comes back out. Young is no good. Smith got nice pick and roll play. Margarita, soft right hand, not soft enough though, a little bit too much on that one. Dijon come away, back into the hands of Suleiman. Julien, pick and roll, spin move from Chasson. Chasson with the wonderful spin move. And Dijon really are masters of executing the pick and roll at the top. Best for 3, and once again, it's no good for PAOK. They're now 0 from 7 from the perimeter. Julien, he's off target as well, and I think Chizas is going to get called for the foul. Not sure who he stepped across. I think it might have been Lamont Ulmer. Looks like it. He's holding his head. As Young will go to the bench for Dijon. Going to be 2 shots for Ulmer though, as PAOK were in the penalty, so that sends Ulmer to the line for 2 shots. His first trip to the free throw line this evening, and a chance for him to get his first points on the board. 0 from 1 from the field, but he does have a couple of rebounds to his name. Dijon's free throw shooting percentage is aided by that. They're 5 from 8 now from the free throw line. That's 6 from 9. As their free throw percentage creeps up and their lead creeps up as well. It's now up to 8, under 4 minutes to play in this first half. That's a tough shot, but he gets it to go. Jaquan Lewis doing what Smith did last week for PAOK, taking the team on his back a little bit. Julien now at the top, using Chasson as the screen, gets it inside to the big man who finishes the and one. Chasson is 24 years old and playing as a veteran big so far in tonight's game. Establishes himself nice and deep in the paint, and that's almost a textbook pick and roll. You're a big and you flash to the basket, flash hard, flash low, get into the restricted area, seal out, receive the ball, and then you're really tough to stop. And that's going to be the last action he sees for now, as Chasson goes to the bench. And in comes Abdoulaye Loum. Oh, Knowles on the baseline. Second dunk of the night for Zane Knowles. Loom now to Olma. Back to Julien. As Smith chases him around the screens. Now to Solomon. He gets the rattle and the roll. Gets the 2 to go. Julien with that whip around pass. Solomon holds on to it. Has the soft touch to finish. Smith for the long 3. Oh, and it's good. And PAOK may not have been playing anywhere near their potential, but they are within 6 points now in a relatively low-scoring game. Dijon looking for it. Is that going to be called unsportsmanlike? Did he play at the ball? Abdoulaye Loom may be called for an unsportsmanlike there. Just a push is being called, and they want to review it. I think they'll end up calling this one an unsportsmanlike. Yeah, there's absolutely no play at the ball there whatsoever. That's an easy call for the officials. That will send PAOK to the line for 2 and give them possession. They play their cards right. They could be within 1 point at the end of this phase of play. All stems from Richard Solomon feeling hard done by at the other end. Lewis didn't wait round to see what the problem was and got out to the races, and you see Loom there just step across him. There's no play at the ball really. I think that's a straightforward unsportsmanlike foul for me. He's just trying to stop the transition. And it's been called as an unsportsmanlike foul. Rightfully so, in my mind. Abdoulaye Loom had no interest in going for the ball. Suleiman's complaining that there should have been a foul at the other end as Knowles goes to the bench for PAOK. Lewis will go to the line for 2 shots. Not the best free throw shooter, as I've said. But connects with the first. He'll get a second, and PAOK will get possession back. So potentially we could see this reduced to just a 1-point ball game. And PAOK have not been playing anywhere near their potential. Fortunately for them, Dijon have let things slip into their mind. Have looked a little bit rattled at times by some of the physicality being played by PAOK. Wiggins to inbound the ball for the Greek side. To Smith, Margaritis, Salakopoulos. Wonderful pass inside, and Wiggins is rejected. Great defense there by Abdoulaye Loom, and it looked like it was a gimme. 2 points for Wiggins with the fake. Loom didn't buy it, stayed with the play. PAOK ball on the baseline, 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Smith inbounds it, poorly inbounds it, and Olma steals it away. Hesitation dribble, Suleiman, and it comes back out now. Loom back to Suleiman. Spin inside, short jumper is good. Rashid Suleiman. Eight points for him, 100% from the field for Suleiman. Smith now, sorry, that was Lewis to Smith. Smith trying to find a way in, steps back for a 3 instead. He's off target with that, and Smith is having a nightmare. He's trying to shoot his way out of it. Maybe that's not the wisest move. Holston is in the game and is batted away. Good hands by Wiggins. He's out in the races, almost stolen by Holston. Doesn't get the and-1 play, but does draw the foul from Richard Solomon. Great hustle again by Antoine Wiggins. It was a trademark of his last week. Just energy, hustle and heart. He's showing it again here and making the difference for PAOK. Out of the line for 2 shots, Antoine Wiggins. This is the first, and you could see by his reaction that that was off target. He knew in the moment he left his fingertips. It's coach Levarakis. Connects with the second. Holston now. Comes back out. Suleiman at the top. Off target with the jumper, and Smith will pull it back in. Under a minute to play in this first half. 5-point lead for Dijon. Many were expecting it to be a bigger gap than this. Now into the hands of Smith. Margaritis sets in the screen to Sarakopoulos, to Wiggins, corner three, in and out. About an 8-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. As Holston slows things down for Dijon. They're going to bleed as much off this clock as they can. Holston uses the Solomon screen, puts it into the corner. Suleiman, who drains the three. PAOK are going to call a timeout. 13 seconds to play in the first half. Dijon 41, PAOK 33. Coaching staff for PAOK want to talk it over, draw something up for the final play. Trying to combat this corner three from Suleiman. Let's listen to this PAOK timeout.
Εσύ είσαι κάτω. Κάτω όμως, κάτω εδώ. Άντα. One. Vangelis here. Down screen. Vangelis is coming. Pass the ball and stay high. Set the screen. Άστο να πάει μέσα. And immediately pop out. Pass. Last 7 seconds. Okay. Guys, μην βγεις πολύ μακριά για να του κάνεις screen. Είναι εδώ πέρα. You are coming in. As soon as your defender goes inside, pop out. Okay. One open. One open.
Nice calm timeout there from the coaching staff of PAOK. Obviously a coaching change they've had as Kostas Chalampidis comes in to take over from Kostas Flevarakis. Lewis now hands it off to Margaritis. 5 seconds left. 4.4 seconds left. And Dijon pick up their fourth foul, so that's not going to send Margaritis to the line as Jeremy Lalou gets caught with his momentum going in the wrong direction. What can PAOK do with 4.4 seconds? As Holston will come back into the game for Dijon. Smith is going to have to get the shot away, and he can't, and it's just another mistake as Wiggins gets it away, but it's after the buzzer. So that will be half-time here in Dijon. The halfway mark. JDA Dijon 41, PAOK 33. It's been an interesting first half of action here in France. Scrappier than we were expecting, potentially closer than we were expecting, but Dijon have an 8-point lead over PAOK at the half. Here are your shooting stats from that first half. Neither team really going to the outside. Everyone going into the paint to get their points. 82% from Dijon. That's an impressive shooting percentage. Rebounding battle relatively even. A little bit misleading that Dijon only have one offensive rebound. They've hardly missed a shot, so kind of tells you why there's only one offensive rebound. But an interesting first half. Dijon started the game brightly, as we see Suleiman leading all scorers with 11 for Dijon, and Iquan Lewis leading the scoring for PAOK. No other player in double-digit scoring yet. As I said, Dijon started the game brightly. They looked the more impressive before PAOK seemed to come to life at the back end of that first quarter. Dijon finished the first quarter up by 3. And it was another battle in the second quarter, slightly more offensively focused. And Dijon outscored PAOK by 5 in the second quarter. That's why they hold this 8-point lead at the half-time break. For Dijon, it's Suleiman leading things with 11 points. He's also got a steal to his name, 10 efficiency rating after just 14 minutes of play. Just behind him is Chasson with 7 points in just 8 minutes of action. And you also have to look at Holston. David Holston, 5 points, 2 rebounds, but probably most impressively 4 assists from his 12 minutes of court time that he's had so far. Looking across the other end of the floor, as I said, Jaquan Lewis is the only other player, the only PAOK player with 10 points to his name. Also got a rebound, 2 assists, and 4 steals in that first half. Very impressive defensive performance as much as offensive performance from that man there, Lewis. Just behind him with 6 points is Zane Knowles. He's got 4 rebounds as well. And then Antoine Wiggins is on 5 points and 2 rebounds. But PAOK, as we said before the game, they've struggled to score. Their offense has not found its form in the Basketball Champions League this season. It's not found its form here again this evening. However, what they have done is picked up on the defensive end and kept Dijon within striking distance, keeping a team that scores 90+ points a game down to just about 40 at the half. Not a bad job. If they can crank that defense up again in the second half and maybe get their offense firing a little bit more freely, then maybe PAOK could cause the upset. Because remember, Dijon enter this game 3 wins, 0 losses, unbeaten start to this Basketball Champions League. And then for our visitors, PAOK, the polar opposite. They are yet to have a win. 0 wins, 3 losses for PAOK. At the halftime here in Dijon, it's the home team leading 41-33 over PAOK. Game day 4 of the Basketball Champions League. We'll leave you with some more highlights of that first half before we'll be back shortly with more action from the second half.
Steal from McKissick. He's got up ahead of steam. McKissick. Attack of the ring goes up high. Shaquille McKissick with a high flying finish.
Sam Bubbles now inbounds the ball to baseline. Gets the Hatcher. Hatcher spins around, but he's got to make that shot. William Hatcher, are you serious? This guy, veteran, is putting on a show. I mean, he looks like a globetrotter right now.
Double dribble to be called. It isn't. Young gets a little slip, throws it up, and then the finish. Shot clock running down, and it's good for 2.
been good, but he turns it over. Ball kept alive. Martin goes down the floor and gets to the end of the runway and takes off and throws it down for two. Kelvin Martin gets off to 2 feet, gives a little windmill action and throws it down.
Header bender. Almeida in the lane. Almeida for the win. Doesn't get it, but the tip back is in. And now, remember, they win the game with Hankins here in overtime. I can't believe it. That's a little move. Oh, my Lord. I mean, he stares it down. You remember the name. It is Abdullah. Look at the elevation, and he stares it down on the floor. You remember Abdullah.
And what a tough catch by Martin, and he puts it up! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, he's made it! Was it Stone in the end? Unbelievable. These guys refuse to lose tonight.
Donc retour des deux équipes sur le parquet du Palais pour la deuxième période. Rien n'est joué, 41-33, c'est bien, mais il faut se mettre à l'abri, creuser l'écart. Un peu plus en deuxième période avant d'aborder le quatrième et dernier quart.
battling, physical first half. Dijon lead it though by 8, 41-33 over the visitors PAOK. Things are just about going to plan for head coach Laurent Lenamun for Dijon. They want to move to 4 wins and no losses, whilst PAOK want to pick up their first win of the season. Let's try and jump in and listen to the huddles of both these teams as they get ready for the start of the second half.
First play. We're gonna run 2, but the big's opposite. That means Miguel is under the basket. You are here. Down screen. CC, μην εδώ ανοιχτά. Okay. Pass the ball and go there. Okay. And Aaron, stay there. Okay. Vangelis, he is running for screen. And the moment the pick and roll is taking place, short roll. Try to find this pass. Come higher. If we pass here, immediately baseline cut, because they're going to help from your rim. Okay. Stay here, stay on top. If he moves, okay, you move. If we have nothing, again, immediately Vangelis, come back for his screen. Okay. To the brass. Okay. If we don't go fast, immediately he's coming back.
Impressively calm timeout there from interim head coach Kostas Charalampidis. As we're now moments away from the start of the second half. And remember, the best way to stay up to date with your Basketball Champions League action, all the news and the stats, and most importantly, the video highlights, is to download the Basketball Champions League app. It's available on iOS and Android, free to download. Get your phones out, get it downloaded now. Here we go, start of the second half here in Dijon, as the home team lead 41-33 over the visiting PAOK in game day 4 of the Basketball Champions League. And what a way to start the second half for PAOK, as Best cuts along the weak side baseline and Margaritas finds him, and he finishes with the two-handed jam. Tough move inside there by Young for Dijon. It's not enough though, it's off target. PAOK have reduced the lead to just 6 points now for Dijon. Margaritas sets the screen and rolls. Ball ends up with Lewis though. Margaritas is going to set another screen and roll. He gets it this time. Sarakopoulos, catch and shoot, nails it. Dijon lead is only 4 points now, and PAOK have come out of the half-time locker room hot to trot. 6 points now for Sarakopoulos. Oh, a turnover as Lelou just throws it away. And the half-time break hasn't done Dijon any favours. They've come out a little bit asleep here in the second half. Can PAOK capitalise though and take a lead? Smith now puts the brakes on and steps back. Back to Lewis. Margaritas for 3. Oh, he nails a dagger 3! And it's down to just a 1-point ball game, and it is silence in the arena. Sarakopoulos is looking at the officials for a foul as he's on the floor. He's off the ball. Let's listen to this Dijon timeout.
Play pick and roll, Dave, here. Hey! All right, let's go. Where? You have no wins, you have no shaking team. You have 3 minutes to have the ball. You will have the ball. Inside.
I think we might have been fortunate the mic was cutting out in that timeout, as Coach Lenamun has made it very clear to his team that he's not happy with the response out of the half-time locker room, as we see the collision between Sarakopoulos and Solomon. Potentially Solomon got away with one there slightly. A fair bit of contact with Sarakopoulos. He might have sold it hard, but potentially a foul. But we have a 1-point ball game, just over a minute gone in this second half, and PAOK have started on a 7-0 run to get things going here in the second half. Inside now to Solomon, knocked away by Sarakopoulos. Shot clock down to 7. Solomon again and knocked away by Sarakopoulos, but the foul is going to be called on Zizis Sarakopoulos. Solomon goes to the line for 2 after that foul. Averaging just shy of 10 points, 5 rebounds per game, Richard Solomon. In the Basketball Champions League this season. Joined Dijon in the summer from Oklahoma Blue City, from the G League in the States. This is the second, but Margaritis is fouled by Jean-Ami Lelou. So it's going to be a PAOK ball on the baseline. Lelou will go to the bench. As I think Rashid Suleiman will come back in. Let's have a look at the foul. Yep, as Margaritis jumps, Lelou extends his arm to push him away. Just a 2-point lead for Dijon. Can PAOK tie the game or potentially even take the lead in this possession? Margaritis now inside. Sarakopoulos has got the mismatch he wanted, but it's way off target with the right-hand hook. Julien drives the baseline, has it stripped away. It's going to remain in the hands of Dijon. Holston now to inbound the ball. Does so to Julien. He brings it back to the top, hands it off to Solomon. Oh, he nails a lovely form from the elbow. Lewis now trying to back down Holston, feeds it inside Margaritis to Sarakopoulos. Good ball movement, best for 3. In and out once again, and the 3-point shooting is not going PAOK's way. They're yet to hit one. Sorry, they've only hit 2 from outside. They're 16% from the perimeter, as we see Holston coming to make the impact that you expect him to make. The big 3 from the wing. David Holston moves his tally to 8 points now. Timeout has been called by PAOK. Let's jump into their huddle.
Okay, just keep playing. Set. Run, sleep, see that screen. If you have nothing, immediately pass front and run for screen. Okay, see that short roll. Okay, set. Use foul, guys. Use foul.
Call to arms kind of timeout there from coach Kostas Charalampidis. He knows that his team got within touching distance of Dijon. The lead now is back out to 7 for the unbeaten home team. And it's going to be an 8-second violation now, as the defense of David Holston stops Jaquan Lewis from bringing it over the halfway line within the 8 seconds. And Holston is doing it on both ends of the floor for Dijon at the moment. Suleiman inbounds it to Solomon. Now across to Julien. Holston doesn't catch a shoot, drives inside, tries to throw the lob, but it's almost stolen away by Smith. It does come back at the Holston. Shot clock down to 2 though. Julien from range! And it's raining threes from deep for Dijon. And you hear the difference now in the arena from near silence when PAOK were within a point to a party atmosphere as Dijon are back up by 10. Smith once again misses, and Smith's night goes from bad to worse. 1 from 8 now, Adam Smith. And a foul's going to be called, this time on Aaron Best. Here's the move from Julien. Kicks it out and picks up the foul. 6.5 minutes left in this third quarter. Dijon have taken the lead back up to 10 on a 9-0 run of their own. Holston, Julien, back to Holston. Holston from absolute miles out comes up short. No real surprise. That was a real range three from David Holston. Lewis now. Crossover, crosses himself over. Holston dives in, but the foul's going to be called on David Holston. And he is just frustrating to play against, is David Holston. I can understand why Jaquan Smith was asking for the foul earlier. Holston's grabbed hold of his hand as he's tried to cross over and almost pulled the hand away. Lewis just blasts to the basket, comes back to Sarakopoulos. Sarakopoulos ducks underneath and gets a soft left hand on the run. 6 minutes to play in the third. 8-point lead for Dijon now. 8 points also for Sarakopoulos. Julien swings it back outside to Suleiman. Back to Julien. Tries to feed the baseline pass to Michael Young, but the foot of Margaritas is in the way. You can see what he was trying to do. It would have had to be millimetre perfect to get through, though. Almost knocked away again by Margaritas. Shot clock's at 10, though, for Dijon. Plenty of time for them to do something with it if they can actually get it in bounds. This time to Holston. Young sets the screen, as does Solomon. Back to Young now. Julien from miles out again, comes up short this time. Sarakopoulos spills the rebound to Solomon. Suleiman now. Go inside to Solomon. Oh, and the short corner jumper is good from Solomon. Tough on PAOK, they played some good defense. Sarakopoulos didn't commit far enough out on that one. Zoklish now hands it to Sarakopoulos, to Lewis. Pick and roll action, nice pass from Lewis. Finds a wide open Sarakopoulos. He's up to double digits now. And PAOK are just holding on by their fingernails in this game. Julien is fouled on his way to the basket. Nice sportsmanship there by Jaquan Lewis as he helps him to his feet. It's just this quick burst of speed and the use of the screen as he gets sandwiched on his way to the basket. But Axel Julien is on his feet again quickly. Oh, Holston trying to cross Shuckless over. Swings it around. Catch and shoot is no good, and Smith will pull the rebound down for PAOK. Shuckless. Keza came up for the screen but faded away. Smith for three, and he hits the three at last. Adam Smith finding some form, only his second made field goal of the game. He's only up to 5 points despite 9 attempts. Suleiman draws the foul from Lewis. Once again, the Dijon lead is cut to just 5. What a wonderful crossover there from Suleiman. Just stopped on a dime, forcing Lewis into the foul. Out now in the team foul situation, so the next one's going to send Dijon to the line. Over 4 minutes to play in the quarter as well, so that could impact the score as well. Ulmer now to Julien. Solomon sets the screen, gets it back from Julien and drops it out of bounds. It's going to be a PAOK ball, and it's these mistakes that we weren't expecting to see from Dijon. But it's what's enabled PAOK to stay in the game. Intensity on the defensive end, forcing Dijon into mistakes. And that's why they're within 5 with just under 14 minutes left on the game clock. Smith now, what can he do as he started warming up for 2, a long 2, and he drains it. Like buses, Adam Smith jumpers. You wait all day for 1, and then 2 come along in quick succession. Julien now slows it down at the top for Dijon. Comes inside, he's too heavy-handed, and Sarakopoulos just pulls down the one-handed rebound like it's nothing. And draws the foul from Richard Solomon at the same time. Wonderful play from Sarakopoulos, a veteran big man. Old school play, locking in your player's arm. He's kind of obliged to foul you. Solomon will go to the bench. He's got 11 points, 2 rebounds to his name. Shockless now. Crossovers, gets himself some space, comes out to Smith, he's open for 3 again, can't get it this time though, but the rebound is with Wiggins, now into Egekeza, and he gets it to go, and Dijon are on the back foot as PAOK are within 1 point of the unbeaten French side. Julien Chachon, and there you go. Jassong just floats to the basket, and they're constantly running pick and roll action. So tough to defend. So many options that they have to run the pick and roll. And Julien is just pinpoint perfect with that pass to Chasson. And you can see he's pumped for the and 1 play. He makes it, will take himself to double digits. Open the Dijon lead, back out to 4. And he converts the bonus point. Under 3 minutes now left in this 3rd quarter. Shockless uses the Knowles screen. Knowles goes inside. He's going to come back out to Shockless though. Shockless going to shake up things. Pulls the trigger on a 3 himself. He's off target though. That looked like it was going to drop. But PAOK have an opportunity to extend their lead again. Julien back out. Chachon. Good ball movement. Now, I think that was Ulmer that drained the 3. It was. And this is the problem PAOK have got. They worked so hard to get back into the game. They were within 1 but moments ago. And then Dijon turned the heat up, and they're back out to a 7-point lead. Wiggins, corner 3. Oh, he drains it. Maybe this is a different PAOK. Wiggins lit things up in the 2nd half last week against Neptunus. Can he do it again for PAOK this evening? Suleiman now inside. Chasson. Looked like he was fouled, but nothing called, and Wiggins comes away with a rebound. Technical foul has been called. Not sure who that's on. I presume it's on Chasson, but we'll wait to see. That's going to send out to the line for a bonus shot. Smith will go and take it. They'll also get the possession back as well. Yeah, Chasson called for a technical foul. Presumably over his frustration at no foul being called at the other end. It'll be a sideline ball now for PAOK. They're within 3. Potentially could tie the game in this possession. What a momentum swing that could be. Shockless now. Egekeza takes it back. Kind of handed off to Smith, but that's great defense by Dijon. Shot clock down to 7. Shockless inside to Knowles. It's knocked away though as the defense collapses on Knowles. Julien now is fouled by Shockless. Shrugs his shoulders in innocence. Tackle on Shockless. saying he didn't touch him. Let's have a look at the replay. And that's a really easy one for the officials to call. I don't know why he looked surprised that that was called as a foul. Put his arm across the chest of Axel Julien. Julien at the line now for 2 shots, gets the lucky roll for the first to go. Back at the line for the second. 5th season now with Dijon. Part of the French squad that competed in the World Cup qualifiers. Averaged 3.2 points, 2.6 assists. Played 8 games in that qualification process. Obviously didn't make it to the final squad that went to the World Cup finals in China in the summer. They walked away with the bronze medal, but Axel Julien feel that he certainly contributed to that success story of French basketball. Smith now uses the Knowles screen, finds Wiggins inside. Oh, Wiggins misses what was a gimme lay-in. Oh, he gets it back though after a fumble from Dijon. Oh, and the roll from Zane Knowles. And PAOK refused to go away. Under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. PAOK are within 3 of Dijon. Holston now. Douglas trying to knock it away. Ulmer fakes for 3. Goes inside. Chasson. Shot clock down to 4 now. Chasson fades away. That's a tough shot. Knowles will pull the rebound down. About a 7-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. A whistle's been blown. Push foul, I think, called on Abdoulaye Loum. I think. Looks like it is off the ball. So that will send Egekeza to the line for 2 shots. As Adam Smith, a little bit of a renaissance in that 3rd quarter, heads to the bench. Not had a game that he'll want to too many highlights on his career highlight reel. Egekeza connects with the first, takes himself up to 5 points personal. Opportunity now to bring Dijon within just 1 point at the back end of this 3rd quarter. Gets the roll. As Loum hits the deck. See why Loum's quite frustrated. Yes, there was contact. It was a little bit light. Holston now. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Holston looks to float inside, comes back out. Ulmer for 3. Off target. 6 seconds now for PAOK to do something with it. Douglas with the ball. Is he going to get it away? Oh, it's going to get swatted away, though, by Ulmer. And that's the end of 3 quarters here in Dijon, in France. 30 minutes gone, 10 to go. Dijon lead this 60-59 over PAOK. Not the game we were expecting, but a wonderful game of Basketball Champions League here in Dijon. Various shooting stats in the game. Both teams doing well inside. Perimeter shooting still a little bit to be desired. Both teams shooting well from the 3-throw line. But pretty similar numbers between the 2 teams. And that's why we have a 1-point ball game here in Dijon. Remember, Dijon entered this game 3-0. Yet to lose a game in the Basketball Champions League, and not just that, they've won games by some margins. They really have. It's been an impressive opening 3 weeks for Dijon, and the absolute opposite of that could have been said for PAOK. So much so that their coach Kostas Flevarakis lost his job this week, and in steps one of his assistants, Kostas Chalalampides, as interim head coach for this evening's game. Not sure when they'll make a replacement, but for PAOK, they are yet to win a game this year in the Basketball Champions League. They're 0-3 after 3. But could they have a massive upset win here this evening on the road in France? That really would be a jump start to their Basketball Champions League season, and who knows, it might even gain Kostas Chalalampides the head coach's job if he can pull off a miracle like this. Real fairy tale stuff. The unbeaten team being beaten by the winless team. We've got 10 minutes left, and And you have to say Dijon are still favourites, because whenever PAOK gets close, Dijon just seem to put a little bit more pressure on the accelerator and pull away. Here we go, final 10 minutes of action here. Game day 4 in Dijon of the Basketball Champions League. Dijon lead this 60-59 against PAOK from Greece. 10 minutes to play. And the first shot is put up from David Holston, and it's no good from outside. PAOK with their chance to take the lead. Unbelievably, they've only led the game for 30 seconds so far. Baseline drive into some trees, kicks it back out, but it's going to be a turnover ball. PAOK haven't led since the first quarter. But at the end of the day, you speak to anyone who knows basketball, and who cares when you lead, as long as it's when the final buzzer goes. Shizas will go to the bench. Holston comes back now to Young. And that's knocked out of bounds by Ulmer, so it's going to be a PAOK ball. Replay of that rebound, and yeah, you can see it clearly coming off Lamont Ulmer's hand. Chocolates now drives in. Teardrop right hand is short. Knocked away though, and Knowles scoops up the loose ball. That's good hands by Chocolates. Knocked it out of the hands of Michael Young. Dijon give up the turnover. Zane Knowles, very quick reactions. It's a soft hook shot in, and now PAOK have the lead for the first time since the first quarter of the game. Remember, prior to this lead, they'd only led the game for 30 seconds. What a time to take your second lead. Smith now, little shake, little fake, drives inside, looks to the corner, back out. Soklas fakes a three, steps in for the long two. Oh, and he extends their lead out to 3 points now. Is the upset on the cards here in France this evening? Timeout has been called by coach Lemannion for Dijon. I think he needs to make sure he stops the rot. As you see some of the shocked faces in the crowd, let's jump into his huddle.
Good swing. Shooter opposite. After football. Okay, football. Hey.
And what a crescendo this game is building to. I don't think many people would have picked this as potentially the game of the round here in the Basketball Champions League. But plays like that from Chocolates and Knowles has meant that PAOK, the team that haven't got a win, the team that sacked their coach in the week, now have a 3-point lead over the unbeaten Dijon. This is one of the top teams in the Basketball Champions League this season, JDA Dijon. And now PAOK have a 3-point lead, under 8.5 minutes to play. So many more twists and turns to come in this game. Alston now. He's going to be important to Dijon. Gets it to Chasson. Chasson, nice pass, gets it back. Oh, no joy this time. Wonderful offense again by Dijon, but no joy. Soklas waits for the Knowles screen to come. The double team came out, and the long shot, Egekeza, is miles off. You could tell that from when he released it. Holston is fouled from behind by Zane Knowles. Holston's trying to ask for an unsportsmanlike. I find it exceptionally hard to believe that they'd even look at that one. He's clearly gone for the ball. There's no excessive force. Yes, it was a stupid foul, but there's no way that's an unsportsmanlike foul in my book. Just because Knowles stands at 208 centimeters tall and Holston is at 173. They're going to check it. I think it would be exceptionally harsh against PAOK if the unsportsmanlike was to be given. I understand why they're shouting for it, because they've had a couple called against them. You see Knowles diving and working hard on the floor for it. The officials have made their decision. We'll wait to see what they come back out and say. Looks like it's just going to be a regular foul. I think that's a smart decision, as much as the crowd might not like it. Neither does Coach Bonamun. For Dijon, he's saying, how many times have we had it called against us? It's very hard to compare the fouls that he's referencing there, though. That'll be a sideline ball for Dijon now. And Holston, the general for Dijon, brings it up. Back to Chasson. Now to Lelou. Lelou looks to find Chasson. Oh, lovely intricate passing. But one pass too many for my liking. Jeremy Lelou should have just gone straight to the basket and laid that one in. The lane opened up. They've done all the hard work. 6 seconds now to do something with it. Olma. The three. That's way too heavy. And PAOK have a chance to extend it out beyond a one-possession ball game. Scoring has dried up for Dijon. And the foul is going to be called. Wait to see who that's on. I think it's on Jeremy Lelou. That's his fourth foul of the game. Just being overzealous, trying to bump Egekeza out the way on the screen. Knowles sets the screen for Shotless this time to Smith. Smith for three. That's a very difficult shot, and he doesn't make it. Dijon now with a chance to get some points back the other way, and smart play by Holston. Has the foul been called on the floor, or is it shots? I think it's going to be on the floor. Look at the little hesitation. Look at the hand. Beautiful play by Holston. Just showed the hand as if he was going to stop and pull the trigger on the three. That was enough to draw Shotless out, create that difference to draw the foul. Holston inside, and the carry's going to be called. It's the right decision, I think. I'd like to see the replay. I don't know if it's just a trick of hand from Holston. He's so quick with the ball, it's hard to read. Let's have a quick look here as he uses the screen from Solomon. Oh, that's a tough one to call, even on replay. I wouldn't want to be the one calling that. Shotless now. Smith uses the Egekeza screen. Free throw line jumper is good for Smith. That moves him up to 12 points, and he's come alive in the closing stages of this game. PAOK are up by 5. Smith up to double digits. 6.5 minutes, just less than that, to play here in Dijon. Could we have the upset of the round on our hands? Suleiman now finds Julien. Julien with a spin and fades away, but he's off target as well. And the house of cards is starting to collapse for Dijon. Nothing is going their way on the offensive end at the moment, but a big steal by Holston. He's going to hand it off, and it's going to be an easy flush for Richard Solomon. Great defense by Holston, and it's not an easier finish in his career for Richard Solomon. This is the problem you have. Shotless, really, in fact, it wasn't great defense by Holston. It was just Shotless giving up the ball. 3-point lead now for PAOK. Under 6 minutes to play. Smith with the ball. Drives inside. Puts his player on skates, but can't connect with the jumper. Holston now. For three. No joy. And the offensive woes for Dijon continue. They are really struggling to find anything on the offensive end. Had a chance to try and seal the game out early. They didn't take it. Foul's going to be called at That one's on Holston. And you can hear the frustration in the crowd as well. They're as rattled as the Dijon players are. Yeah, easy foul for the officials to call. He's reaching around the back. He's not touched the ball. Pushed on the player. Change to be made. Margaritis comes into the game and Egekeza goes to the bench. These are tense times here in France. Not what anyone was expecting this evening. Margaritis now inside. Can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound. Gets it the second time though. PAOK's lead back out to 5 with 5 to play. Lelou now to Julien. Waits for the screen from Solomon. Julien. Back out. Lelou. Oh, that's a big, big shot from the veteran. Jérémy Lelou nails the 3. Could that be the spark to get the offensive engine of Dijon rolling? You hear the displeasure from the French crowd here. They're saying that came off a PAOK player, as we see a replay of the Jérémy Lelou 3 that brought it down to just a 2-point lead for PAOK now. As we see Solomon go to the bench for Dijon. Sorry, Suleiman has gone to the bench. Just waiting for everything to be right. We're ready to go. As Jaquan Lewis has had a good game. He's up to 10 points. Hands it to Smith, back to Margaritis. Right hand soft for Margaritis. He's up to 9 points personal now as well. And the PAOK lead extends to 4. Holston. Julien. Back out. Holston. I thought he was going to catch and shoot. Then he steps back and shoots instead. He's off target. Smith now looking to shake his defender. Julian's got him. Sarakopoulos is in the game, the big man. Baseline pass to Lewis. Inside, Sarakopoulos loses the handle though. But it's come off, I think, a Dijon player. So it's going to stay in the hands of PAOK. But they've got 0.3 seconds left on their shot clock. Not sure what they can do with that. Pass was just slightly too low for Zizis Sarakopoulos to hold on to. He needed a slightly higher pass so he could just go straight up with it. It's going to have to be a tap shot now. Oh, and Wiggins managed to get a hold of it, but it was good defense from Jérémy Lelou. And it will be a Dijon ball on the baseline. This low-scoring ball game that we have here, suiting PAOK more than Dijon. The crowd are trying their best here in the arena. Julien now uses a Solomon screen. Julien, nice move off the baseline, and Axel Julien, he's on 12 points. He's really done everything he can to get his team in this one. Margaritis now. Smith with the ball. Margaritis sets the screen, flashes to the basket. Smith just trying to shape his player up. No good this time, and Smith, bar a couple of sparks, was really disappointed this evening. Julien now to the basket, kicks it back out. Holston in the corner. Oh, the shot is good from Lelou in the corner. And that's a big, big shot from him. You don't get much bigger than that. European basketball at its finest. gives his team the 1-point lead. 2:37 left in the game. Timeout called by PAOK. Let's listen to their coaching staff. Let's jump into the PAOK huddle.
Side bigger all Vagelis. Vagelis. Set the screen. This under the basket. See that short roll. See that pass. If nothing, pass, immediately screen. Okay, roll in. Okay. Hide the guy. Let's go.
There's a replay of the corner pocket three from Jérémy Leloup. He's come out with some big plays. Only got 6 points in the game, but they've come from 2 massive three-pointers in this crunch phase of the game. The veteran forward has stepped up when his team have needed him most. Dijon now with a 1-point lead. What have PAOK got left? 2.5 minutes to play. Margaritas is wrapped up. Skip pass to Lewis for 3. Oh, Jaquan Lewis! He's got the answer. He has had a big evening here. He's up to 13 points and PAOK back out to the lead. Julien. Young. Off target, Smith snapples up the rebound for PAOK. Lewis now, skip pass, Margaritas shoots the 3, off target. They're gonna hustle down the rebound, but Jérémy Leloup pulls it in, another big play from him. I think the foul's going to be called on Antoine Wiggins. Or is it on Lewis? Yeah, Wiggins called for the foul. Dijon down by 2. Just under 100 seconds remaining in the game. Holston to Leloup. But they go back to the hot hand of Jérémy Leloup. No, Holston will take it. Oh, he hits the 3! A big game shot for a big game player, David Holston. Dijon back in the lead. Margaritas Salakopoulos gets the 2. PAOK back in the lead. Wow, what an end to a game. Holston, another 3 from him. Oh, he's good to go. He's taking the team on his shoulders here in Dijon. Lewis now slows things down. Drives to the basket. It's a tough move, but Sarakopoulos is there again. We have a tied game. 48 seconds to play. Oh, big play by Sarakopoulos. Holston now, who else? Trying to shape up Lewis. Sarakopoulos comes away with the foul. I don't think that's a bad decision by Sarakopoulos. PAOK is still going to get possession back. They'll get at least another shot, if not more. 32.3 to go. Dijon 76, PAOK 76. What a game we have here. Game day 4 of the Basketball Champions League. Holston now at the top again. Screen, uses it, pulls the trigger on another 3. Oh, he is unconscious right now, David Holston. His teammates lift him to the ceiling, and rightfully so. He has taken control when control was needed. Dijon are up by 3. 24 seconds remaining on the clock. Timeout called by PAOK. They look shell-shocked. What have they got left in the tank? What can the coaching staff do? What can they draw up to get them back into the game again? Let's listen in.
Vangelis will run. Okay, sorry. You run. Vangelis here. Run. Set the screen. Okay. Hey, maybe they're gonna use foul. Okay. After that, okay.
Obviously drawing up a play as we see a replay of Holston. Absolutely ice cold from the outside, David Holston. And on the back of that shot, there, he's now up to 17 points personal. 3 triples in the closing stages of this game. 24 seconds to play. Dijon 79, PAOK 76. Is there one final twist in the tail of this huge Basketball Champions League game here? Lewis waiting for options in front of him. The foul's going to be given up by Holston. It's okay, they're not in the bonus yet. They've only got 2 team fouls. 11.8 seconds left to go. PAOK were always going to have the option of the final shot if they wanted it. I'm interested to see that they want to take the final shot to tie the game. They want this to go to overtime. They didn't look to go early, get a score, and then maybe hustle some more. They're going for the overtime, the big shot. Lewis, Sarakopoulos now. Back to Lewis. Lewis fakes a 3, shoots the 3. Oh, it's off target. Is that going to be all she wrote? Foul's going to be called. I think that one's going to be on Antoine Wiggins, and that should be enough for Dijon to take the lead. Not sure that was the play that they drew up, but PAOK could not have asked for a more wide open 3 if they tried. Lewis was open for the triple. Just off target though, you could feel the air leave the arena, you could feel time almost slow down. As Jeremy Lalou goes to the line, 1 from 2 should seal the game, and he hits the first. 3.9 seconds to go. Surely that's enough. That man there with their scarves, the fans are happy. I don't think they were expecting such a nail biter, but they've had a great game of basketball in front of them as we see the final shot of the game now go up from the hands from Lewis. But what a game PAOK have given us here. No one was expecting it to be this close as we see Coach Lemonnier keep his team's unbeaten record alive. They're now 4-0 to start the Basketball Champions League season. Only one other French team has done that in the history of the competition. That's Monaco. So they're in good company for PAOK. The tough start to the season continues. Coach Flevorakis lost his job in the week for PAOK, and they still continue to struggle in the Basketball Champions League. But what a performance they put in here this evening for PAOK. No one would have expected such a close game. It really went down to the final couple of plays of the game. But Dijon can be happy. They've been tested and they have passed the test. All smiles for them at the end of the game here in France. JDA Dijon 81, PAOK 76. What an amazing game here from Group D of the Basketball Champions League here in Dijon in France. Dijon have come away as 5-point winners over PAOK. You can hear the appreciation from the players and the crowd alike. And the singing rings around the stadium for the win. And that man there, David Holston, can take a huge, huge amount of credit for the win. When his team were under pressure, when they were right up against it, he stepped up with play after play in the clutch. There's your shooting percentages. As you can see, it really was the 3-point shooting percentage in the end for Dijon that did it. 40% from them. PAOK won the rebounding battle commandingly, 35-24, including 9 offensive rebounds. You have to look at Sarakopoulos for that. He had some big offensive rebounds in the clutch as the Dijon players make their way around the court. Here are your top scorers: Holston with 17, Solomon 13, and Julien with 12 for Dijon. Sarakopoulos with 14, Lewis with 13, and Smith with 10 for PAOK. what a game. Absolutely breathless here in the arena in Dijon. It's absolutely wonderful example of European basketball at its finest. Two big clubs hitting lumps out of each other on the hardwood. We've had some highlight plays throughout the game. As you'd expect, Dijon came out of the blocks really fast in that first quarter. Ended up the end of the first quarter leading by just 3 points in the end. Close second quarter as well. But Dijon made it to the halftime locker room with a lead of 8 points. However, PAOK, I don't know what they talked about in the halftime locker room. I don't know what was in their energy drinks. But they came out dominant form in that third quarter. And that 8-point lead had been reduced to just 1 as we enter the final 10-minute period. But Dijon, although they surrendered the lead to PAOK in the closing moments of the game, they had enough. And that enough primarily was Jeremy Leloup and David Holston. Those two players hit big shots. Leloup hit 2 big threes in the final quarter. David Holston hit 3 big threes in the final quarter. And that big game mentality was enough to get them the win. As I said, they now move to 4-0. Dijon stay at the top of Group D. PAOK, unfortunately, even though they put in a Herculean effort here this evening, they stay rooted to the basement of Group D. 0 wins, 4 losses for them as they move into game day number 5. And for both of these teams, that will see Dijon get back on the road as they take on Zaragoza, and Brindisi, back at home in Greece, is the next opponent for PAOK next week. So game day 4 here of Group D. Earlier this evening, Zombate beat Bonn 91-59. You've seen Dijon win 81-76 over PAOK here this evening. Tomorrow evening, you've got Neptunus versus Zaragoza and Brindisi versus Besiktas. That will round out game day 4 of Group D. But I will be amazed if any of those games are as good as the one we've had here this evening. Even if they're just half as good, they're going to be a great game to watch. What a game we have had here. And that man there, Holston, absolutely lighting things up for the fans in the crowd. They went quiet early in the fourth quarter as PAOK took the lead. That didn't last long, though, as Holston absolutely lit things up in the closing stages. He took his team on his shoulders and won them the game here in Dijon. Shot after shot from David Holston. Massive, massive performance from him. What a big, big play. And that finishes the game here this evening in Dijon. The home team win this one 81-76 over PAOK. Thanks for joining me for this wonderful night of Basketball Champions League. I'm sure I'll see you all again soon.